All right, well, there's enough of us here, so let's go ahead and get started with our check-ins. So let's go around the room and just share what we're thankful for in the spirit of Thanksgiving. And how did your Thanksgiving, just that time set aside to really just most of the time spend with family or to express gratitude, how is that impacting your week this week? So who wants to go first? Tracy, are you cold?
No, I just happen to look better in winter gear than I do summer gear, so I take full advantage of it. And I'm drinking a delicious virgin mojito out of my new pineapple mug, which is very cold, but I am determined to use it. So
that is awesome. Is that a copper mug? Like, is it a copper pineapple?
It's supposed to be rose gold, but I think it's it's like, I don't know. It doesn't look gold.
I missed the memo. It's bring your cool mug to class day.
Yes.
I have a plain red one. Robin, what does yours say?
It's an Oktoberfest mug from St. Benedict's Oktoberfest. So
Cool.
Go there, get a beer, get a mug. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, who wants to start our check-in? Sharing what you're grateful for and just the impact of Thanksgiving on your week this week.
I'm just thankful for where I am right now. It's a good place. And Thanksgiving was good. It was very relaxing. We had Thanksgiving here with Paul's kids, my kids, and then we went to the beach for 3 days. So it worked out good. And the beach was warm because it's warm everywhere, okay? So it was like 60, 70 degrees at the beach. So that was good.
So how did that relaxing, refreshing time, how is it impacting your week this week?
Oh, I have a great week. I don't have a full-time job. I have a great week. So, no, it's good. Yeah, it helped just recharge and reset.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin. All right, Sarah, what about you?
So I went to my brother's house in New Braunfels, and he's got 2 girls, and then my other niece came, and my parents came, and it was so nice. I realized how underslept I am. So I slept I took a 3-hour nap after lunch on Thanksgiving. I slept like 10 or 12 hours. And so I left just feeling really rejuvenated and like happy and fresh and bright. So it was really wonderful. I was so grateful for that experience. And I love my family. They're really, really sweet people.
Well, of course, they're related to you.
No, they're wonderful. So I think that's kind of carried into this week. Just carrying that love and positivity into the week. It's kind of, the mindset I'm in. It's kind of a tough week. Today's been a little bit of an emotionally tough day because I have to contact all my clients and kind of tell half of them that they get to stay with me and half that they need to stay with my current company. And it's been it's way harder than I thought it was going to be. And it's hard for them because some of them are refusing. And I'm I just feel like I'm in this weird kind of place, kind of a weird emotional space today. A lot of ups and downs too. But I'm trying to kind of carry that positivity from Thanksgiving and feeling good and all of that forward. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Well, it sounds like you're having to tell them with a lot of grace. I know that can't be easy.
It's challenging, yeah. Wish me luck.
One conversation at a time, right?
That's right. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, JC, what about you?
My Thanksgiving was just a lot of family fun. I'm really thankful to be back in my own space. Back in my own lifestyle. But no, it's I have a countdown going until my last day of work. Starting to get things kind of set up for when I leave my job, so it's all good. Very thankful for where I'm at.
What's the official countdown, JC?
I have 26 working days left.
Wow. So next time we see you next week, it'll be under 20.
Yes. Yeah. I can't wait.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, Mike, what about you?
Gratitude. Things have settled down at work a little bit. I'm not constantly on the road, so that's good. Our girls will be home in less than a couple of weeks, so I'm always very grateful for that, and we'll be here for maybe a month. It's just for the time of year, it's a reflective, joyous, kind of celebratory time of year, and that's good. It's fun to be in the mountains in the winter time, Christmas time, although it's not very Christmassy right now. And then carrying forward from last week, gratitude. It was interesting, kind of not coaching my relatives, but using some of my coaching tools, kind of, level 2 listening and curious questions and things like that. It resulted in a higher level of engaged conversation with people that I don't always do that with. And they even noticed it. My sister said, "You seem so involved. What's going on?" So that was fun. It was good, but also, like JC, very glad to be back in my own space.
Very cool. And it's also interesting, Mike, the more you practice these coaching skills, the more they kind of become part of what you naturally do.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're totally right. And that's cool. I think they're good that way,
Exactly.
It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a good converser.
Yeah, and I think especially even even a better friend, like people notice like they feel so heard. I've had friends they're like, what happened? And so her talking about like your presence or like you being really involved, you're used to engaging on that level, and that's so cool because it just brings something to every relationship, even if you're not coaching.
Yeah, I agree.
Very cool. Good example of coaching is not just about a tool that you use, but it's about your being as a coach. All right. Well, Eddie, what about you? How was your Thanksgiving?
Okay, my Thanksgiving was relaxed and great.
Awesome.
I'm completely disconnect with everything, I just take time for my family, myself, and it was great. I'm very grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my business. I'm grateful for my health. And I'm grateful for being in this class with you. I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm gonna miss everybody here. This is a great experience for me. It's a great learning process for me. And how does affect my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After I have a relaxed time, I have more energy to do a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a recharge, isn't it?
Recharge. That's the words. Recharge. Let me put here. Recharge. I like this word.
Yeah. It's funny how unplugging is actually plugging in.
Oh yeah.
Great. Thanks, Eddie. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kellen, what about you? We're sharing what we're grateful for, thankful for, and if you want to share anything about your Thanksgiving and how that's affecting your week.
Hi. I wanted to share about my Thanksgiving. I got to spend some time in other people's kitchens and see how they're preparing their food. And one of what I call it's like a little toy that I bought for my kitchen, based on seeing it used elsewhere, was a spiralizer. And I'm loving this because I can really put more vegetables into my meals. I have made zucchini noodles and I spiralized. Not a rutabaga, but
Parsnip?
parsnip. Yeah, parsnip. And it's just making me feel, like there are more options. And I like trying. I've been wanting to get away from pasta, so this is the way to have vegetables instead of pasta, and I feel so much lighter when I eat like that.
Yeah.
So, and I think I missed the original question, but it's like, how's it affecting your life? What you're thankful for? Is that what the question was?
But you can share what you're thankful for, and then just how is your Thanksgiving, and how is your Thanksgiving affecting your week this week?
Well, it's that. I mean, I don't know. I'm sort of on the other end of the spectrum as far as like getting rest. I didn't get a lot of rest, so I've been sort of trying to recover actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm feeling good though. I mean, I really did. I don't know. I tried to cultivate the gratitude definitely throughout the whole holiday, and that stays with you even through fatigue. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Kellen. And I'm a big fan of the spiralizer too. It's so nice to be able to like have things in a different form.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing. And then is that Kanika on the phone?
Yes, that's me. Great to hear everybody's amazing weeks. There's nothing exciting at my end, of course. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving here. So yeah, I had a regular week. Quite boring. Quite hectic.
Well, how
and
was
I'm
your
still
daughter's
thinking when I can
birthday?
quit my job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was exciting, but yes. That was fun. We invited a few people over, and Vanya had a lot of fun. I invited friends who had kids her age. The other friends were very conveniently avoided. So it was fun. She had fun because we kept it at home. We didn't do anything fancy. We ordered a nice cake, and I baked her a smash cake, so she went crazy with it. So yeah.
Yeah, very
That
cool.
was
And
interesting.
I think you mentioned something about your job. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, so it's hectic as usual. So my husband and I had this wild idea that we'll take a sabbatical next year for like 3-4 months, and go to South America or the US or something. So we are actually baking that idea, and we're quite excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you need that. You need time to unplug.
Seriously, I mean, we both are close to burnout. I think we need some time now.
Well, in the meantime, Kanika, and this is kind of to everyone, and Mike knows about this because it's in the 2.0 where you have a gratitude practice where you're really intentional about practicing gratitude. So don't wait until Thanksgiving comes around to do it, even if it's throughout your day. It's something that's so powerful. It can almost like recharge you in the middle of your day. That's something that brings you gratitude and taking time to appreciate life and practice that. So it's a great chance to not let go of what this last week brought you, or if it didn't, what would, and be intentional about that, because it can just really make a big difference when things are crazy. Taking time to practice gratitude.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah. So as we get into tonight, we have future pacing and setting reminders that we're going to dig into. We're going to spend a lot of time like actually coaching tonight, as much as like, because these are the tools that are so helpful to experience them even more so than just talking about them. Before we do, a little thing I want to touch base on is there is one more error on the class materials page. The last class is not the 21st, which would be a Thursday of December. It's currently the 20th. So since I have everyone here, do you guys want to have a class on the 20th, or should we double down the week prior and have like class another day that week? What do you guys think? Because that way you can be done the week of Christmas. So as of right now, so everyone pull out your calendars. So as of right now, we would be meeting the 13th, and then the 20th will be our last class meeting. I could do the 14th or the 15th.
It would be
What do you
great
guys
if you
think?
can do other day because 20th I'm flying out, so I didn't think about that, but I think I maybe missing the class then.
Yeah, it would be awesome if everyone could make it. So, what does everyone else think? You guys want to double down the week prior?
What did you say, Hannah, is the second option day?
We could do the 14th or the 15th. So, like, right now we're meeting on the 13th already, but we could do the 14th or 15th at the same time as well. I don't think we should have a 4-hour class, though. That would be a lot in one night.
I could do Friday, probably not the 14th because I have a client till 9:30. But Friday I'm free.
I could do either one.
Okay. Mike, Kellen, Eddie, JC, what do you guys think?
Okay, I missed this. What's the question?
We're talking about the last class because right now it's set for December 20th. And so we're wondering if another day, like we'd have 2 classes in a week. In the week of the 10th through 16th.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just you freeze over here. My connection is too bad.
No worries. We're talking about a different day to have the last class.
Okay.
Instead of the 20th. So I guess let's
What did they propose?
well, let's look at the 15th. If we did the 15th at 4 p.m. Pacific time, so the same time that we do class on Wednesday, can everyone do Friday the 15th? Same time?
I can.
Mm-hmm.
December 15.
What do you think, Mike?
I just have to say I don't know at this point. I know that I have to go to New York that week, but I don't know what days. And I already had class on the 12th, just the 2.0 class. But don't build it around me. I'll do what I need to do. And the 20th is fine with me. So whatever the team decides, I'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll go with the majority. So how about this? Let's settle this for sure next week. And also, if you could email me, and let's get our last appointment scheduled, like on the calendar, by next week as well, because I know this is a busy time of year just for everyone, a lot of the times. So let's see, Kellen and Kanika, what do you guys think?
I can do that Friday.
Okay. Kanika? I guess that would be Saturday morning for you.
Okay, let me understand. We have December 15 or December
20th.
20. Okay. Is for choose one or another one, or do both? One in 15 or another one in 20?
We would have one on the 13th, and then instead of having one on the 20th, we'd have it on the different day. So how about this? We're not going to spend more time in class figuring this out, but everyone look at your schedules and just look at your schedules, and then next week, let's all come prepared with these are potential days for us. So 15th might be the best day, but we could look at another week as well, but not the last 2 weeks of the month. So just look at those first couple of weeks in December and see what might work for you, and then we'll all get together and figure it out. Also, look at your schedule when we can book our appointments together.
Okay, Hannah, let me understand. We have 3 record review, right?
Yes.
Plus that, we have another one. We have another.
There's 4 total. So you had the short one, and then there's 3 full-length ones. So.
Okay, because I still need to do one for you. I just need to do.
And you'll have one more after that.
Okay, that's me. I need to do one. I need to do one next week.
Yes.
And the following week another one.
It has to be done by the end of class, so not the following week necessarily.
But it's the following week. We just have 3 weeks, right? 2-3 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, that's me. We're gonna do one next week, and another one the following week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let's all email individually because everyone's schedules are different. And technically, like you want to get it preferably done by the end of class, However, Amber sent an email out, and like you have until technically January 20th to be able to finish. Otherwise, there's going to be there could be potential fees and stuff for not finishing in that time frame. So let's all figure that out individually. Let's dive into class. But I just wanted to mention that just so we got the ball rolling, because I know everyone's schedules are different. Okay. All right. Well, speaking of different, future pacing, what might have come to mind for you guys is the future self when you think of this. A distinction I want to make is it's not necessarily like they're both going into the future, but the future self is really focusing on you in the future versus future pacing is almost like going to that point in the future when you make a decision or take an action and you're pacing it forward, like you're pressing play. So whereas future self, we were just like staying in that like picture you had of them in the coffee shop or wherever you were. And future pacing is, you're in the coffee shop, you make that decision or you make that business deal, and then what happens next? You're really like pressing play in the future. So it's even more imagination, and it's really based on a decision point or an action you take or a goal that's accomplished. What's really cool with this is really getting into that state where you can really imagine and just really daydreaming really intentionally and just adding as much detail and really having it just bring up emotions, like experiencing it like you're watching a movie of your life in the future. A lot of times what will come out of that is your values. Like if you follow through on this value, what's that going to be like? And then you can pull back into the present and you can set up a system that will support you in getting to there. And I kind of think of this as a taste test. Like, have you ever tasted something and wanted more or wanted it again? So when you do the future pacing, it's almost like you're getting a taste of what it's like to, cross the finish line with your marathon or start your business. And then when you're back in the present, it's even more motivating and exciting and encouraging to get there because you've had a taste of it. So with this exercise, it could be like even the next day. It doesn't necessarily have to be far in the future. I actually like it when it's something closer because then you can really build up the momentum and get there faster. So it's almost like increases motivation. But it's so fun to visualize, but really to really back up what you want to accomplish by like experiencing it, but then, okay, how can I make sure this happens? It felt so good. This is amazing. I want to make sure it happens. Any questions about future pacing before we dive into it? I do want to take a note. So in the chapter it says use the previous exercise in making decisions. Doesn't have to be necessarily. It's more of like this is something they want to do. It could be, something that's based on their values. And if it's something they want to do, but you don't know what the value is behind that, you can explore that before getting in, and then you just would have a decision they want to make or something they want to do. So even if you haven't done the exercise with someone, you can still do this exercise. So we would just dive right in to at that point with a decision they want to make or a goal they want to accomplish. Does someone have something they want to accomplish in the future or a decision they're trying to make? What do you guys think? I'm curious about you, JC, because we could use your last day of work or something if you're up to that. What do you think?
Sure.
Or is there something else that you have in mind, like a decision you want to make after or this month?
Yeah, anything. I can come up with something. Let's see. I'm trying to get to the last day of work. I'm gonna have to make healthy decisions to get there to keep my sanity. I've noticed I am snacking more, having a lot of like junk food. I'm not sleeping super well. So yeah, trying to see myself finish strong, because I'm definitely in that zone where I'm done. I don't care. They offered me an assistant for my last month to make sure I was able to get everything done that I wanted to get done, and I was like, dude, you're missing it. I'm leaving. So there's a lot of pressure there to finish a lot before I go.
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is there's a lot of pressure, but you mentioned like wanting to stay healthy and make healthy choices on the way. So sounds like there's almost two decisions. Like, what would you like to focus on?
Probably staying healthy, honestly, right now. I feel like I think about my job 24/7, so it'd be nice to kind of think about ways I could keep myself healthy in the next month.
Okay. What is the value behind being healthy?
For me, I feel better. I live in Maine. We're in our darkest time during the year, mental health wise. It definitely makes a difference when I am eating well and I'm exercising regularly and I'm getting enough sleep. Sometimes, if it gets dark at 4, I'm ready for bed at 4 if I'm, if my energy isn't up. And I feel like when I've been healthy in the past and happy with my lifestyle, that's when I tend to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to be able to thrive in this last month, leave my job going strong and dive into my own adventure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, JC, do you remember when we talked about the keystone habit and how it affects other habits?
Yep.
What is the keystone decision that might help you make other healthy decisions? One.
It would probably be staying active.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's kind of like a triple-edged sword, whatever. I get the physical workout, which helps mentally with stress, and then I also tend to fuel my body with actual healthy foods. I noticed today I came home and was ready to do a workout, but I was starving, so I grabbed a handful of crackers, and then that led to cheese, and then I was like, I'll just have dinner, and then before I knew it, it was 6:30, and I feel massive, and that's why I'm like in my 800 hibernation layers.
Okay. So when you don't exercise, it leads to maybe unhealthy snacking, and then you pull in more, and then you don't feel like exercising.
Yeah, and it makes my head feel like crappy, like I feel like I failed.
Okay. So when is the next point in the future, so even tomorrow or today or 2 days, when you're going to have to decide to exercise or not?
It's going to be tomorrow, and it will actually happen because I have karate right after work. Tomorrow, I know at work we have a luncheon, and so I don't have to pack a lunch, which is nice. And I have seen the menu, so I know there will be healthy food there, but I still need to pack snacks. And actually, that's what I was just doing in the kitchen to make sure I have a snack to go before karate. So when I leave, I'm not starving. It's coming home and being starving after a workout and a long day. I just want to eat everything, and then that makes me feel like I just undid all my work.
Okay. So if we were going to go in the future to a certain point in time, do you want to go to when you go to karate class, or when would be helpful?
Probably when I get home. That tends to be the place where, like tomorrow I will have already had a workout with karate, but on days I don't have karate, that's the kind of the make it or break it time, that like 20 minutes where it's either, okay, go get your stuff on, get in a workout, and that's when I'm excited about it. Mm-hmm. But it's like that 20 minutes where you start puttering and you get wrapped up in something, and then you need a snack, and before you know it, not excited to work out, and it's just
Okay. Well, how about we go watch that 20 minutes and experience it?
that would be perfect.
All
I
right.
think that's exactly what I was thinking about when I read this chapter. So this is very helpful.
Cool. All right. So let's say we have 15 minutes or less. What would you tangibly like to get out of our time today?
Are we just doing future pacing, or are we looking at reminders too?
Well, it depends if you're like, I really want to do a reminder after doing future pacing, but we could just do future pacing.
If we could include a reminder, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Just because I'm going to face that like 15-minute block, like 15, 20 minutes every day when I get home.
Okay. So how about this? We're going to that time and experiencing it, doing the future pacing in that 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then you want to pull a reminder out specifically about that 20 minutes so that you can make that healthy decision again. Is that right?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. So just for the class, it sounds like we're going to blend the two exercises together. So just let me know if you have questions along the way. But let's get started with the future pacing, JC. So I want you to close your eyes, or whatever you need to do, center yourself, maybe take a big deep breath, or pet your kitty, or whatever you want to do. Okay. All right. So it's tomorrow. You just got home in the door. Okay. What do you think about first?
Setting things down, taking off my jacket, grabbing a cat, and transitioning out of the workday mindset.
Okay. What do you do to transition?
Usually talk with the cats for a minute, and then just get my space settled. My entryway comes right into my living room, so I don't like it to be cluttered. Like to put my work stuff away, so I have kind of a clean transition into home.
Okay. All right. So you go in the door, you talk to your cats, set everything down, and instead of going to the fridge, you go put your workout clothes on. Okay?
Yep.
So you make that choice. I want you really to imagine, what is it like to go change into your workout clothes and resist the urge to snack?
Ideally, I would have brought down a workout outfit to change into as soon as I get in the door. Have it right downstairs and ready to go. It feels good. It feels like that's half an hour, 45 minutes of just me time. I don't use my cell phone when I exercise. I'm, old school with a really old iPod. So like, that's just time for me. It feels good to check it off. And I also really enjoy having that little burst of activity to wrap up any frustrations for my day. And then also by the time I'm done with my workout, when I'm stretching, I'm nice and relaxed and ready to just transition into, an evening at home.
Mm-hmm. So what was easy about putting your workout clothes on first?
There's no question about it. I always have a water bottle ready to go in the fridge. Grab that, and I still have the excitement. I haven't gotten sidetracked with any project around the house, and I still have that like, yes, I'm going to go do this for me, kind of satisfaction.
Okay. All right. Was there anything difficult about choosing to put your workout clothes on?
Just fighting the urge to flop down on the couch or, start puttering. I'm a putterer, so I get wrapped up in projects easily.
What does your outfit look like?
If laundry has been done, then it is probably color coordinated, right down to my socks. If laundry has not been done recently, then there's a chance I'm probably pretty mismatched. But ideally, laundry has been done and I'm color coordinated. I look like I have it together. Sometimes having the look makes me feel like I'm more into it. Yeah, my sneakers are right down here by the door, so I'm really ready to go.
What's the significance behind being color coordinated?
I just feel more like a badass. I feel like I actually have things together. It's that simple difference between wearing a sweater that makes you feel kind of lumpy and wearing an outfit that makes you feel put together to start your day.
If you were to name how you feel when you're color coordinated, what is it?
Oh, what was the exercise we did? Oh, I was partnered with Sarah. Sarah, it was my big bird with wings. It's like my power mode. It's like the warrior pose in yoga for me. That's like my mental go-to image of like me being ready and powerful and ready to take things on.
What was it called again? Was it the power bird or what was it?
I don't remember what I called it, but I would just say it's like my power pose. It's like my superwoman pose.
Okay. All right. So let's say, JC, what would happen if you're in your outfit and you like literally do your power pose? What's that like?
That's great. I mean, that is what I try to think of every day when I leave the house, every time I tackle something challenging at work. That's kind of my go-to, get my wings going and get ready to take off.
All right. So what happens next after you put your workout clothes on?
It's really easy. Once I am dressed and ready to go, I decide if I'm going to go outside and go down to the beach and do a workout, or if I'm going to do a class. I have like an all access pass online, so I can do like online classes. So it's right there, like in my living room. I don't have to go anywhere, or right there, like literally in my front yard. So once I commit to it, I'm good to go, and I'm excited to just get through it and have that time.
Okay. So specifically looking at tomorrow, JC, you mentioned you have 20 minutes. How much you take that time to get dressed, but what do you do between after you get dressed and when you head out the door?
Ideally, I literally come in, drop my stuff to get my work stuff out of the way, get changed and ready to go. And ideally that takes 10 minutes and I am out the door, onto my workout, skipping the fridge. It's the days where I use the whole 20 minutes and, sit down on the couch or have to go digging for an outfit, try to start picking things up. So if I can shorten the time when I get home just to come in, get changed, that 10-minute switch instead of letting it bleed into the full 20 minutes, because that's where I lose it.
Okay. All right. So if we're in the future right now, imagine you putting your workout clothes on and you've resisted the urges and you're doing your power pose and you feel amazing. What do you notice about yourself?
It's a completely different mindset. I'm ready to go. I'm excited about it. It doesn't feel like work. And for me, it's such a simple thing. That one act can impact how I reflect about my entire day. Like if I get home and I get my workout in, I feel like it's successful, even if it's been, a craptacular day.
Mm-hmm. Right. You mentioned that it's having to look for an outfit can derail you. what can you set up the day before or that morning so that you can have that outfit to change into?
Just grabbing something out of the closet when I pick out my outfit for the day. And just having my workout clothes and my workout right there together. Toss my workout outfit down the stairs so it's in the living room, no excuses.
Okay. So transitioning into the next exercise, just so everyone knows, because you mentioned that it would be helpful to have a reminder. So that is kind of like going out of that future pacing. You want to be reminded of this. Do you want to be reminded of like the 20 minutes of like the feeling of being in your workout clothes, or like having laid out the workout clothes the day, the day before, or the morning before? Like, what do you specifically want to be reminded of?
Probably that 20-minute window.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, sometimes that's like all it takes, just getting there and getting changed and committed. And it's literally like a matter of 20 minutes. If I'm puttering around, I start doing dishes, unpacking my lunchbox. Before I know it, like an hour has gone past. And
mm-hmm. What is that perspective you need to make that choice? Or the mindset?
The mindset I would definitely need to think of like draw from my power pose feeling, that like I'm ready to take it on type of feeling. And I would probably also tell myself to be mindful, be present, instead of thinking about the 42 things I want to get done before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Or that half an hour of exercise and saying, you deserve this. You need to take this.
Mm-hmm. So really that mindful self-care.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have two different perspectives. What would it look like to combine that mindful self-care perspective and the power pose?
Well, if I could do that successfully, I would have one heck of a workout. It would probably help ground me into like that moment and actually focusing on that 20 minutes and getting things settled so I can just dive into a workout and really just, leave it all in the workout. Get out everything I need to and then be completely refreshed for my evening.
Mm-hmm. So if we were to blend these two perspectives, what might you call it if you were trying to use two words?
I'm not very creative at the moment.
No pressure to be creative, just what might capture those two and put it together for you. You have power pose, bird, you have mindful self-care.
Probably just something simple, like power of the mind. Got my power pose and mindfulness, and a reminder to pull it from me.
Mm-hmm. So, power of the mind?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, JC, tell me about a time when you successfully experienced both of these perspectives at the same time.
Oh, Monday, I got right home and it was a nice day. Grabbed my workout clothes, did a HIIT class, and then had a little bit of daylight left because I was home a little bit earlier, and made it for a quick run down the beach, which was what I would love to be able to do every day, but I can't always find the time for a workout that long, but that was perfect. I felt so good afterwards.
What kinds of things did you say to yourself when you were doing that run?
Well, faster, it's getting dark. No, I was really happy with myself that I was actually, getting out there. I didn't just say, okay, I did a half an hour, that's good enough. I still had energy. I was actually surprised, like, my energy just kept building. And I came home in the evening and had, productive night, had some time to relax, and I slept really well that night. So I felt awesome.
That's awesome. Okay. So as you think of that perspective, I know you previously had the bird with the power pose, but what comes to mind when you think of that, of the kind of the new blended perspective we've come up with? It could be a hand motion. I know some people don't really like the whole, like, I touch a certain part of my hand, or some people think that they're a little skeptical of that. It could be a picture. It could be a word. It could be a smell. Like, what comes to mind?
A lot of, like, mental imagery comes to mind, but nothing tangible that would, like, be a trigger. I could always just do, like, traditional power pose, but I don't know that. I think that would be very easy for me to push aside and say, man, no.
Well, the benefit with doing a hand motion, or like John likes the whole, like, kind of pinching right here, is that you're always with you. Right. So if you can't think of anything, if touching your head, like, be mindful, or something like that. It could really be anything. Something that would be easy for you to think of, or if you see a certain word, that it's accessible.
Maybe just high-fiving myself. Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into this a little bit more. So I know you've already started to describe this perspective, but I want you to describe it like you're experiencing it right now. Okay. So you're putting on the power of the mind. Okay. So can you just describe it for me? And then as you are, when you feel like you get to the kind of the peak of, like the high of it, as you're describing it, I want you to clap your hands together. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I am energized. I'm not feeling anxious. Any anxious energy that I've had through the day becomes, like, channeled into getting ready for a workout and getting ready to just work through that. Any stress that's in my head is going out the window. I'm excited to get out and do something active. I've been sitting all day at work, and it's going to be fun to be able to move. I'm excited about what I'm going to accomplish in, the next half hour. And I actually deserve that time to be there in the moment with me.
All right. How did that feel, JC?
That was awesome. I feel like I could go run a marathon.
Cool. All right, well, let's go back. Okay, so let's say you are going to run a marathon and you're going to put that perspective on. Go ahead and do that again. Like, you can either do it quietly or you can describe it out loud again. Like you're pumping yourself up.
If I was at the starting line of a marathon, I would need a lot of high fives going right there. I would I would have trained for it, and I would be excited for all of my hard work to come to that point. I would be really thankful for my body and being healthy and able to do that. I would be probably excited about a support network because my family's nuts and they wouldn't let me go run a marathon without watching, which I never understand why people watch runners, but each to their own. I would probably, I would probably feel like I was on top of the world, just even at the starting line, just to get there.
Okay. Where are your emotions at with this, experiencing this again?
Pretty great. I mean, it would be something that I would have set for a goal and had to train for and work towards and really put a lot of effort into tackling. So I would definitely need that kind of power of mind thing going all through training, and just the fact that I actually stuck with it would be awesome.
Okay, so let's say you cross the finish line and that perspective really powered your whole journey. Okay. Where are you at right now? Where's the perspective in your mind?
Oh, I would be just floating, a million miles in the sky. I would be so happy. My little invisible wings would be going. I don't know that I would even be able to be mindful in the moment just because I would be so excited. I probably wouldn't even remember those first couple minutes after crossing the finish line. I would be really proud of myself.
Okay. JC, where did you get your lamp?
That was actually from my grandma's house.
Oh, it's really nice.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, clap your hands together. What did that bring up for you?
Ready to go run a marathon again.
Okay, so it worked.
Yes.
It worked. So I purposely asked about her lamp. You want to totally change the topic. But I do think it's a cute lamp.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so we tested the reminder. This might take more practice, JC, so I just encourage you, maybe every time you purposely put on that mindset, clap your hands.
Okay.
And a thought I had for you is, when you're excited, you tend to clap your hands like, yeah, this is awesome. So I wonder if you might bring more excitement into the perspective somehow, like blend that a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I like that.
All right. Clap your hands again. All right, where are you at?
Ready to go. Ready to go for a run.
All right. So how did we do? We did kind of a blended exercise. But how did we do? You wanted to really be able to make healthy decisions.
Yeah. I think we met the agenda items. I feel like I have a solid reminder. It's empowering. It also helps me hold myself accountable because, like you said, I'm with me all the time. Yeah, that was good. That was really good. I feel like I could tackle the next month and finish my job strong and be happy and healthy at home.
Awesome. Well, is there anything I can do to support you?
Keep reminding me to clap.
When would you like me to remind you?
Oh, you can check in with me next week if you'd like. I'll tell you how many times I've clapped.
Okay, I'll ask you how many times you've clapped. Now, can we all just clap for JC? Yay! Awesome. All right. Well, JC, what did you think of both those exercises put together?
I really liked them. When I was reading these, I guess I wasn't really getting the detail of it. I was thinking, this is just visualization. This is just a fancy name for visualization. I wasn't sure why we were reviewing this, but going through the exercise and really putting in the effort to add those details. It's really cool.
Awesome. Well, you did great. Does anyone else have thoughts or from blending those exercises together? Okay. Well, it's pretty easy because I know that just in the reminders, a lot of times it's the point in the future, or imagine when this is going to be the hardest to pull out. You want this perspective the most, but it's going to be the most difficult time to put on that perspective, or in the future. So you could easily blend these. I'm going to give you guys an option though. As we go to breakout rooms, you could do one exercise or the other. So if you feel like one's more particularly helpful for you, you could be coached just on one or the other, or you could blend them kind of how I did with JC. But the point of it is, reminders can be so helpful, and they do take practice, but they're so personalized. I don't know about you guys, but there's to this point that however many 20 years later, a certain smell reminds me of my childhood. It's like association is powerful, and being really intentional with it, we can really pull out what we need when we need it the most, right? And then the same thing with future pacing. JC, just with the future pacing part, did you notice reliving it? It's almost like I can do this.
Yeah, and it made me want to go back to that moment, 2 hours ago where I came in the door and didn't go grab my outfit and grab my shoes and go. Mm-hmm. It made me excited for getting to that point tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really taps into proactive motivation.
Yeah, it was a really cool feeling to be ready for it and have a trick up my sleeve now with the setting the reminder. So I'm ready to go.
Clap your hands. We're just gonna randomly have JC clap her hands.
You gotta do the big arms with it. Makes all the difference.
It's almost like a bird with wings.
That's what I was thinking.
There you go.
That's me going into my power pose.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, does anyone have questions on what we're going to do in breakout rooms? Mike?
Just a quick question, Hannah, but for setting a reminder, is that typically something that you would ask the client whether they want to do, or you would recognize the opportunity to do it and suggest it?
Yeah, I like to, when someone's taking on action and they're worried about, you can tell maybe they're hesitant and they're like, I really want to do this, but I feel like it's really challenging for me. You can just ask, have you considered setting a reminder? I have kind of an exercise you might want that might be helpful. Are you interested? So I definitely would ask, but a lot of times people write it down, right? And what we're doing is taking a to-do list or a reminder that might be on your phone or on a piece of paper and putting it into something that's an action. So it can be really helpful. So a lot of times people do put it on their to-do list, or they already are setting a reminder, but this is kind of an out-of-the-box way to do it, like a physical reminder, something you can smell or see or imagine. But I definitely would ask them if they think it would be helpful. But if not, even midway through, if they're like, no, I think I'd just rather write it down. Explore with them. Okay, let's say you do write it down. What's next? And go there with them. Because you're right.
It reminds me of something that they do in hypnosis. I don't even know what it's called, but they plant an idea in your head. Then if you hear that word or hear that sound later, it sparks a reaction or an emotion or something like that. Does that sound, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, a lot of this is actually based on NLP, so neuro linguistic programming, but yeah, it could be a word, but we're definitely not trying to hypnotize our clients.
Right, yeah.
But yeah,
it just reminded me of that.
Yeah, creating association, but just see if they're up for it, and that's what I'm going to give you guys the option too, because you might feel like, oh, this is really helpful for me, and I definitely run across people that are like, that's weird, I don't want to do that, or that wouldn't work for me. It works for me to write things down and then see my board of this is the stuff I should do. So anyways, well, let's go to breakout rooms, but
Hannah, just one point. I have a training starting at 9:30, so I just need to be on the road right now. Can I just listen in today? Is that okay?
is that fine with everyone else that you have Kanika in your breakout room? All right. So Kanika, I'll put you in a room. Thanks for letting me know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No problem.